and if that's cool with you. So, welcome to the NFL Playoffs Offseason Outlook preview video. Um, there were blowouts in the wild card round this weekend. The Cowboys game was a blowout, and the Eagles game was a blowout. So similar with the Bills game, but the Bills game was closer towards the end. But what are your takeaways from the wild card round, Zeke?
I think we should start off game by game. I know you weren't able to watch much of the Browns Texans game. Um, Texans winning.
What was that, Zeke? You kind of cut off there at the end.
Texans winning.
Did I have Texans winning against the Browns? Yes, I did. Did you?
At last moment, I did that with another game too. I had Texans going into the game, and then right before kickoff, I switched to the Browns. But I don't know. It's whatever.
Yeah.
Games this week that I switched last moment, and they both ended up being wrong. So I'm not doing that anymore. And still did relatively well with picks this entire year. But anyways, as for the game, yeah, I thought it was earlier before we started recording, but plays. The Browns defense wasn't as good as it was during the regular season for whatever reason, and Ronnie Hickman got really exposed. And Charlie Heck, I think, was other tackle, but um, I still think it was relatively closer, at least until the a point where the Browns were like close to the red zone, and then Flacco on third down or something, he like just lobbed the ball up for no reason, and it ended up being a pick six. Next drive, he threw another pick six. So at that point, the game was kind of out of hand. But yeah, I think the Texans that forming their expectations. It kind of remind me of the 2021 Bengals from 2 years ago, but a little bit worse. I think that Bengals team was better, but I don't know. Stroud's really good, and they're definitely out extra to add for that one.
Just to double check on something, because I don't know if it's on my side or your side, but like when you speak, it kind of your mic kind of fades. It fades in and out. Like it sounds like you're far away, and then it comes back again. I'm not sure if that's coming from your end or not. Um, it's like it's still a little bit bad, so I'm not. Um, I'm trying to figure that out myself as well. But once you speak for a moment, it catches up again, and then it goes fades out again. But I'm not sure if that's.
Because I might have to join from my laptop. Camera. But let me see if I can make it work for my laptop. I think we can go
Okay.
on to the Dolphins Chiefs game, and then you can start us off on that one.
All right. The Dolphins and Chiefs. I was expecting the Dolphins to win that one, but they were in an environment that wasn't. To be honest, I didn't catch the game, but like the environment they were playing in against the Chiefs was in -degree weather, so that makes it harder for a team from Southern Florida, Miami, to play up to their competition against the Chiefs, and the Chiefs beat them 26-7, and that's probably a typical Chiefs game win. Typical Chiefs win in the weather that they are accustomed to with freezing weather, and the Chiefs will be going up against the Buffalo Bills this weekend. And then for the Texans, they'll be going up against the Ravens, the number 1 seed. So with those 2 games, I'm going to wait until Zeke comes back in. So hopefully he can get back in soon. And hopefully the mic is working for him. I'm not too positive. Those audio on his end, but hopefully it works when he gets on his laptop. So I hope he can get on here soon. So we can have a little break until he gets on, but what I'm expecting for divisional rounds for the AFC side is that there'll be highly competitive games. Oh, we got Zeke back on. Hopefully, he is. All right. Is your audio working on your laptop? Oh, that's a lot better. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So what? I'm gonna turn my camera off because it's just like blurry for whatever reason. But it's whatever. We'll get it fixed.
Okay.
I'll figure out how to do it for my phone next time better. It might just be because I don't know. But yeah, what were you saying about the Dolphins Chiefs?
So I was saying that I was unable to catch it because I was still at work and plus was on Peacock. So I was saying that the Dolphins were unable to compete because the conditions of the weather were -degree weather in Kansas City, and I was expecting to be more competitive, but with the team that is from southern Florida, Miami, with the warm weather, I think the cold weather affected them, and typical Kansas City win in the weather that they are more accustomed to for Kansas City side. Like, I believe that you probably caught the game. So, what was your takeaway from the Chiefs Dolphins game?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously the weather played a part, but I think it affected both teams. I don't think you can really just say it affected Dolphins. I think the main thing with the Dolphins was really just their, like, if you watch the game, you could tell that they just couldn't, like, especially on offense, it just seemed like they didn't trust Tua. Like, they just kept on throwing little swing passes and short routes. I mean, he had the deep touchdown or the touchdown to Tyreek, but he underthrew it. It was really Tyreek who made the play. Um, and I mean, outside of that, I don't know. I'm trying to remember. It's been like 2 days now, or 3 days, 2 days, 3 days. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. It just seemed like they didn't really trust Tua, and I don't know. Their offense just. I think the weather may have played a part of it, but I mean, the Chiefs also had to play in the cold weather, and no one's used to playing in that cold temperature. Not even the Chiefs. So I'm not sure if it was the weather really. Chiefs defense looked. I mean, credit to them, they've been pretty good all season. Um, Dolphins defense has just been beat up, and it was kind of like, even though, I mean, I'm trying to remember now. I'm looking at their last games. I mean, they beat the Cowboys, which is a good win. But I mean, they looked bad against both the Bills and the Ravens, so it's kind of like you could just kind of tell that like they were outmatched. They probably need to get. They're probably going to stick with Tua, but they probably need to get a better quarterback if they actually want to win a Super Bowl or anything like that. Defense needs to get healthier. Um, I mean, they just never really had a chance with that many guys missing on defense. But even besides that, I don't know if their offense would have put up much of a fight if their defense was healthy. The Chiefs' offense was good. They definitely would have probably wanted to finish with more touchdowns and field goals in the red zone. But yeah, um, that's all I really got for that one. It'll be interesting to see how the Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are next week in Buffalo. But yeah,
So the next game we're gonna go over is the Packers at the Cowboys. Packers won 48-32. They outplayed the Cowboys, and they got off an early start in the first quarter and never looked back. And that cost Mike McCarthy his job, in my opinion. And I believe that the perfect guy for the Dallas Cowboys for head coach is Bill Belichick. So, what are your takeaways from the Cowboys Packers game?
yeah. So I, um, similarly to you, I had a really bad take. You had the Dolphins winning the Super Bowl. I had the Cowboys making it. I didn't have them winning it, but part of me was just I didn't want to go with the. I feel like the obvious uh, Super Bowl favorites never both make it. Um, so I'm like, I might as well go with Cowboys over Niners. I was wrong. It looked terrible on Sunday. Um, I don't know. I kind of mentioned this to you earlier, but it was just kind of like they couldn't get a pass rush. Um, their secondary was just getting cooked. Dak was playing terrible. I mean, they gave Jordan Love all types of time, and he was just able to make insane throws. They couldn't stop Aaron Jones. He had like 3 touchdowns. Um, and then, yeah, I mean, they looked. It just looked like Mike McCarthy got outcoached. He probably should get fired. Whether or not he does, I'm not sure. We'll probably know by then. I'd say if he doesn't, if we don't know by the end of the week, he's probably staying. Um, but I don't know where the Cowboys go from here. It was like their best season in a few years, and they couldn't even get out of the wild card. So I don't know. We'll see. They probably need to add another pass rusher. Probably need to add linebackers, another corner. They might lose Dan Quinn, who had a bad game as DC, but he's still overall pretty good at that. As for the Packers, I mean, Jordan Love looks like he's got off to a good start, and then midseason he was looking bad, and then he finished strong. So he's definitely looking like the next guy for the Packers, which is good for them. I mean, they just keep on getting good quarterback after good quarterback, which must be nice. They have a lot of good young offensive weapons, and I mean, I don't know how we'll get into the 49ers game later, but I don't know how much of a chance they stand, but we'll see. It'll be if their O line can protect Jordan Love for a good amount of time and he gets that amount of time against the 49ers secondary, I imagine he'll have another good game, but I don't know if you have anything else for that one.
The only thing I have to add is that I feel bad for fans of Dallas for the Cowboys. It's just this is probably one of the worst losses, not if worse, loss in the playoffs in their history, and it's just never ends for them, and I feel bad for them right now. So hopefully one of these years they'll get it. So
Yeah,
that's what
we'll
I
see.
have for the Cowboys game. So the next one is the Rams at the Lions, and the Lions won 24-23. And it was expected to be a close game, and Lions got off a quick start, and the Rams made adjustments to compete against the Lions, and the Lions had a better game, and I think with the fans behind them, and knowing how Dan Campbell play style is, with his coaching style is, that gave him a little extra boost at the end, and they made it to the divisional round. So, what
What
is
do
your
you mean
take?
by his coaching style gave them an extra boost?
So, like, you know how he's like always has that vibe, not vibe, but not not hardcore, but like a intense, having very high intensity and very like old school type of defensive play on the defensive side of the ball, and then on the offensive side of the ball, it was more like similar to old school, but it was more like little mixture of new and old school. You have that passing on that first down to end the game, but they can mix it in with the run with Swift and Gibbs. Not Swift and Gibbs, but Gibbs and Montgomery. So it's a little mixture of old school and new school for the Lions, for his coaching style.
Yeah, I can see that to an extent. Those are my thoughts. I thought it was a pretty entertaining game. I thought they were pretty evenly matched. I think the better team of the season ultimately won. I think Stafford played one of his best games of the year. Goff was pretty good as well. The Rams defense was definitely. Give me 1 sec. I'm trying to collect my thoughts.
Right.
Yeah, so I think the Rams. I'm not sure how much of it was adjustments compared to. I thought Ben Johnson's second half play calling was considerably worse. I don't know. Just watching it live, I thought there were a lot of bad play calls. I still think he's probably going to get a head coaching job. I'm hearing from some people that it might be Seattle's the front runner or Washington. I know you want him in Tennessee, but I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I follow some people, and I think those are his two preferred landing spots. So, but he's also asking for a ton of money as a head coach. So we'll see if he gets a job. He probably will. That's a rabbit trail. But I don't know. Just watching it live, I thought his second half play calling was a bit off. I mean, some of it could have been because of the Rams defensive coordinator adjusting, which definitely were some. But I mean, you kind of just said it like the Lions just kept on. I think it was like their first 3 drives they got touchdowns, and then the Rams they kind of matched it, but just not enough. In the second half, it just kind of came down to adjustments, and I think the Rams had the better adjustments overall. They kind of got screwed in the end with a no call, but whatever. That it, I mean, it's literally whatever. They literally got to Super Bowl because of one. But yeah, I mean, I still think the Rams have a bright future as long as McVay's there. It's going to be interesting to see how much left Stafford has. Probably a couple more years. But I mean, Puka Nacua looks like insane talent, and just they keep on getting the balls in creative ways. So he's definitely a young superstar. And their offense was quite good too. I don't know why the Rams defense kept putting Michael Hoyt in coverage. He gave up the touchdown to Laporte on the 4th and goal or whatever, so that was just weird. He's a decent pass rusher, but awful in coverage, so that was certainly a choice. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the Rams handled their offseason, and Lions is definitely good for the city of Detroit to finally get a playoff win after like 30 years. So that's all I got in that one.
Next one is the Steelers at the Bills, 31-17 Bills. A lot closer than I personally expected, but it got pushed from Sunday to Monday. Actually, yeah. No, it was Saturday, actually. Sorry. Saturday to Monday. It was okay.
Sunday.
Due to a blizzard, and they also had negative degree where the Bills looked really good. Allen is like on fire. Hopefully, he doesn't make as many mistakes with turnovers from the past as he did. Hopefully, he can keep that under control, and if he does, the Bills can also benefit from it by moving on with wins in the playoffs. So what and from what I saw that on the Steelers side that Mike Tomlin is gonna be there for next season.
Yeah.
So that's also out there now, new. What's your takeaway from the game, Zeke?
Yeah, kind of like you said, which was a good point that you brought up, was that Josh Allen was able to take care of the ball. I think he'd been having trouble with his turnovers all season, but in an important game, if they should win, he's able to put the ball, keep the ball safe, and not give the Steelers extra possessions. I think the Steelers probably. I still want to see who they hire as offensive coordinator just to see how Kenny Pickett looks under a new OC. But Mason Rudolph was fine, but doesn't really move at me. And Kenny Pickett overall this season was meh. So I mean, they might need to look at potentially upgrading the quarterback. I don't know how they'll do so because Mike Tomlin's always going to have them with a winning record, so it's not like they're ever going to be in the top 10 or anything. But we'll see. Maybe they trade up next year, or maybe after Tomlin's contract expires, they mutually agree to go separate ways and they start looking to rebuild. But as for the game, I mean, I don't really have much takeaways other than the Bills' offense looked pretty good. They definitely left points on the board. They had like a blocked field goal, which was a terrible low kick, and then one at the end. So I mean, they definitely don't want to give up those points against Kansas City. Um, the defense is also beat up, but they relatively held their own against uh, lethargic Steelers offense. So I mean, yeah, not that interesting of a game, but it'll be interesting to see where both teams um, go forward, and if the Bills are able to maintain their momentum, because I think they're on a 6-game winning streak. So we'll see.
So the last one to cover the wild card round is the Eagles at the Buccaneers. Buccaneers won 32-9. Man, the Eagles are looking just horrible with the past 7-8 weeks of the season. It's not looking good. From what I'm hearing, I also agree from what they're saying. Not just fire Nick Sirianni, the head coach for the Eagles. Also look at maybe from the top with their GM. Crap. Uh, Holy crap. Howie Roseman. That's right, Howie Roseman. So it's also the reason they're saying look at him is because the accountability of like moves that he almost made. Like he almost had Adam Robinson almost got. This is what I heard on ESPN today. They were saying that the trade with Kevin Byard was probably not smart now, but retrospectively, and also with the way the players are now, with playing for themselves, not for the team. So that's affecting the Eagles. So what is your takeaways from the game, Zeke?
Before I talk, do you have anything from the Buccaneers point of view, or not really?
The Bucks point of view, it's good to see Baker playing good. So you got that. Just they look but really good last night against the Eagles. So like they, they had the game. So and
Yeah.
plus,
So
yeah.
sorry. Yeah. Kind of. I'll start off with the game. Game. It was another one where I had the Bucks winning going in, and then I switched last moment. Whatever. Definitely regretted it. Kind of annoying. But yeah. Overall, I think I finished 2-4, and then you 4-2 for the wild card picks.
Correct.
Which you definitely got me there, but I don't know. Um, that's a first. As for the game, Baker looked good. The Eagles' defense is just bad. It's one of the worst teams with a defense that I've seen in the playoffs in a long time, like probably since the 2020 Titans, maybe longer. I thought not having A.J. Brown hurt the Eagles. They probably win with him. I don't know if they win with him. It's probably a closer game. Um, definitely not a blowout. I think if A.J. Brown plays, they probably win just because I think they're able to move the ball more effectively. But who knows? The play calling is pretty bad on both sides of the ball. As for the Bucks, they look good. Their offense definitely left points on the board as well. A lot of just weird drop passes. Baker looked good on the defensive side of the ball. They were able to pressure Hurts a good bit, and held up pretty good all around. So it was interesting to see that because the NFC South as a whole is just bad this year, and they had a playoff. The team from that division won a playoff game, which was kind of expected after seeing how things went, but still kind of shocking if you would have told us like mid-season. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what they do. There's some key free agents this offseason. I imagine they probably find a way to keep Baker, Mike Evans, but I don't know. If I were them, I'd probably, as good as Baker played, I wouldn't commit that much money to him or anything because we've seen how bad he can be. And their offensive coordinator, who's definitely has some growth to do as a play caller, but what he's done in development for he was quarterbacks coach in Seattle last year, and now his offensive coordinator, like how he kind of revitalized both Gino and Baker's careers. He's not getting that much head coaching buzz, Dave Canales, but he probably should be getting more. And I just wouldn't allocate that much money to Baker because I mean, you maybe have one more year of Dave Canales, and then he probably gets a head coaching job, and you don't want to be stuck with Baker without him, just based off what we've seen previously from Baker. But as for the Eagles, I don't think they're going to fire their GM. He's pretty much the de facto owner of the team. And he's really been there since like at least 2010 or something. Yeah, he's been GM since 2010, and he's been in the organization since 2000. So they're probably not going to fire him unless if they just have multiple really bad seasons. For Sirianni, I really think I don't know if they should fire him. I think they probably should, but I don't know if there's a clear upgrade right now that they can get. Because I mean, the names that you're probably thinking of are like the one that jumps out right ahead is like Ben Johnson, but I don't know if he wants to take the Eagles job or what other names are there. And like Belichick would make some sense, but that's just like a really small window. The other thing I was thinking about is like I just think he has to get better coordinators in there, and they can probably be back to where they were last year. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. There's just like I saw some people throwing out like the idea of Mike Vrabel for the Eagles. I think Mike Vrabel's a pretty good coach, but he also has relied heavily on coordinators. He's probably going to be more liked than Sirianni, but I don't know. I think they just have to get the coordinators hires right, and then I think they eventually are probably going to have to fire him because good coordinators get hired away. And then we've already seen kind of what he is without good coordinators, but I don't know if it's worth jumping the gun that early. Similarly to McCarthy, if we don't hear anything by the end of the week, I imagine he stays around. I mean, I think he has to go out and get some pretty good coordinators. If not, it's kind of like a waste of time. But it'll be interesting to see what they do in the offseason as well. Definitely disappointing year for them, but yeah, that's all I got.
So going to the divisional round, the first game will be the Texans at the Ravens.
Hold on, Ray. I have a question.
Yes.
So you see that little thing that says NFL playoffs, NFL offseason down below?
Yes.
Can you change that to have the matchups? Like right now, as we were talking about the Texans Ravens, you have it like Texans at Ravens,
Yeah, I can fix that.
and then we just switch it for every game.
All right, first game of the divisional round is Texans at Ravens. I think this is gonna be a really high scoring close game, like 35-32-ish for a final score. But I feel like the momentum that the Texans have for CJ Stroud is gonna carry over to this game, and I feel like they're gonna play really well against the Ravens. And as for the Ravens side, they're gonna come out and show that they are the number one seed, and Lamar's gonna play well. But I feel like the Texans are gonna win this game in the upset, and it's gonna be probably won by a winning field goal or whoever has the ball last situation. What's your takeaway from what is your thoughts on this game, Zeke, going into the game?
I think the Ravens match up pretty well against the Texans. I can see the Texans winning. I don't think it's very likely, but I can see it because we've seen things like this before happen. I just think that the Ravens defense, I said the Browns had the best defense of the regular season. The Ravens were definitely up there. I mean, the defensive coordinator, Mike McDonald's been getting head coaching buzz for a reason. Um, I just think they're going to be able to rough Stroud a good bit. It's definitely going to come down to that side of the ball, like the Ravens defense versus the Texans offense. It's going to be interesting to see what Bobby Slow can do. He's probably going to get a head coaching job. I think he makes a lot of sense for teams like the Falcons and Titans and Commanders. I'm he's a Shanahan tree guy, and those guys have just proven that you can't go wrong with them. And what he's done with CSR has been impressive. But then another important thing is that I'm looking at it now, and it's like the Ravens were 6-3 at home this year. And it's really 6-2 because they rested players in their last home game. So 6-3, and then the Texans were 500 on the road. So in a hostile environment, it's going to be interesting to see what D'Amico Ryans can do to prepare his team. It'll be interesting. I mean, their best road win of the year was probably at the Bengals, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what they can do in a hostile environment. Seeing they've been pretty average on the road. I mean, they lost to the Panthers on the road, so. And I know the Ravens fans are going to be crazy. They definitely want to see another playoff run from that team. I think the Ravens offense should be decent against the Texans defense, but the Texans defense is really well coached. So we'll see. If I had to give a score prediction, you have 35-32. I'll go 28-24 Ravens, but I can see the Texans winning. But I just think that it's a little bit too bold, and you're really banking on a lot from the Texans to pick them. But we'll see. Yeah.
Next game is the Packers at the 49ers. So I think that the 49ers will win this one by a pretty good margin. And I think that they will have a good time throwing the ball and, of course, given McCaffrey. And with their defense with the 49ers, I think they're going to put more pressure on Love compared to what the Cowboys were doing. So this is going to be more like a Niners. So I heard they were favored by like a good amount, like 10. Last time I heard, but I'll double check on that right now. So
They're favored by 10.
So favorite by 10. So
or 8.5. Sorry.
Okay, so touchdown plus a field goal. So be more than that. Let's say 2 touchdowns. Play it safe, but I'm gonna give the Niners to win. What do you think about this game, Zeke?
I think similarly to how the Packers always beat the Cowboys in the postseason. The 49ers always beat the Packers, so I also have the Packers. I think it's going to come down to how much protection Jordan Love gets in the pocket and if the receivers can get separation. Chase Young and Nick Bosa make me think they'll show up, but we'll see. The Packers defense was really bad, but they're playing better now. And then Brock Purdy has been mostly really good this year, but he's had some duds in there. So I definitely think it's going to come down to I don't know. It's going to be an interesting matchup because I'm not sure what it'll come down to. I think it'll come down to, I can see this one being a shootout. Probably take the Packers against the spread. I'll go. Their defense has been playing better, so I'll go like 49ers 27, Packers 20. But I don't know. I have a feeling that the Packers can win, but also their defense had been bad, just like literally like a month ago. And Brock Purdy, 49ers got a lot of good weapons. So I don't know. I'm starting to think. I can see like the 49ers offense just exploding. I'll stick with 27-20 for now. But if I change it, I'll probably put it on Twitter. But I still think the 49ers are going to win. It's just to see whether or not the Packers can stay in the game. But I mean, the Packers are playing with house money, so we'll see. The pressure is definitely on the 49ers. What was your score prediction again?
So I'm going to say 35-14, 42-21 in that. Oh, no, that's 21 points. 42-28. So, like, let's play it safe with 35-14.
35-14.
So let's go with 35-14. So the next game up is the Buccaneers at the Lions. I think this one is very gonna be depending on what the Lions defense, how they start out the game, as well as the offense. If the Lions start fast again, like the last game, I think this will be all Lions, and I feel like that's probably what's going to happen. You could probably see a lot passes to St. Brown, Laporta if he's playing, and in the second half you probably gonna see a lot of run game with Montgomery and Gibbs. So I feel like that's gonna be the theme of the game. So I feel like it's gonna be like probably a 1 or 2, like at most 2 touchdown win for the Lions, maybe 1 touchdown win. So I think it's gonna be like a 28-21 or 35-21 in that range.
So where are you
So
going?
I'm going with the Lions. So what do you think about this matchup?
Yeah. So you have 2021 Lions,
35-21.
35-21. Yeah, I think this one's kind of, it can be similar to the Rams Lions game we just saw. Is in similar to the Packers game. I think all these games are going to be pretty close. I can see either team winning for both of them. I think similarly to, despite like the Rams, like I said, they outplayed the Lions. I think for definitely in the second half of that game, the Lions definitely outplayed them in the first half. So it's pretty even. And I think it just kind of came down to home field advantage and whatever team had been better the whole entire season, which was the Lions. I think it can be pretty similar to this Bucks game. The Lions beat the Bucks earlier in the year in Tampa, but that was like in October or something. I think it's going to come down to whether like both of these quarterbacks are pretty good when they have enough time to like go through the reads and make good throws. Definitely Goff over Baker. Baker can definitely play out of structure a bit better. Um, the Lions defense had a really good game against the Buccaneers last time they played. They gave up like 6 points or something, and I don't know. The Lions defense has definitely not been as good as it was, and Baker's been playing better. I mean, Baker was playing really good, and then he had 2 really bad games, and then he played good in the playoffs. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can maintain that level of play. The line secondary is definitely not very good. So maybe they get some big plays. I think it's going to be a very intense game. I'll be rooting for the Lions, but I think ultimately it's going to come down to what defense can make a stop. And Bucks probably have the better defense, but I just think home field advantage and like the better teams can win. And so I will go with Lions. Let me look at what the spread is. 6.5. The Lions have been pretty good at home. I'm looking at it now. They're 6-2 at home. That includes the playoffs, I think. And then the Buccaneers are 5-4 away. So I'll go with the Lions. They beat them 20-6 in Tampa earlier. I think the Lions' offense is probably around the same. Their defense is worse. So I'll go Lions 24. Buccaneers 20. But it'll be a close game. We'll see how it goes. Actually, that's a little bit too low scoring. I'll go Lions 30, Buccaneers 27, 30-27. So, yeah, I mean, it'll be cool to see the Lions hopefully win it. But I think the Bucks are an interesting matchup. I can also just see them blowing them out, but I think it'll be close. But yeah.
The next game is going to be Chiefs at the Bills. This is a really good series that they've been playing against each other in the playoffs. The last time it was a couple years ago in Kansas City. And this last time they played in the playoffs caused the time in the playoffs. And it was a close game and the Chiefs won. And I think this is going to be different, but a different result, but still a close game. I think it's going to be high scoring like it's always been. But seeing Buffalo this time, I think Buffalo is going to get it, and they're going to probably win, probably again in overtime. Let's say 48-42. That's depending on if Kansas City receivers can catch the ball. If not, it's going to be a little bit lower for the Chiefs, but it's going to be won by a touchdown. So, what's your take on this game, Zeke?
It'll be a very entertaining game to watch, hopefully. I'm also going to go with the Bills, but I think there's some causes for concern. The biggest being Josh Allen needs to take care of the ball. I think he had a pick against the Chiefs when they played earlier in the year, but it was just one turnover. Still, probably want to avoid that if possible. Then another cause for concern for the Bills is their beat up defense. I don't. I think it was Terrell Bernard got hurt in the Steelers game. I think he might be able to play, but we'll see. They're missing a ton of linebackers this year. And then I kind of alluded to it earlier, but when we were talking about the Bills Steelers game, their kicker Tyler Bass definitely has to make the field goals. Can't give up 3 easy points. And the Chiefs defense definitely, both defenses have been good this year. So I'm not sure. I can see being high scoring just because of the quarterbacks being insane. I mean, the over under right now is 45.5, so that's pretty, it's relatively tame. I will, like I said, I'm going with the Bills. I think they just have the better offense right now, and both defenses are pretty good. The defenses are pretty close, and I think the Bills have just the more consistent offense. And kind of like what I said at the Chiefs offense games, the Chiefs struggled in the red zone against a beat up Dolphins defense. It's going to be interesting to see how they do against a better Bills defense. As for score prediction, I'll go Bills 31. That might be too high. I'll go Bills 26, Chiefs 23. 26-23. I think, or actually, I'll make it easier. 27-23 Bills. It'll be fun though. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, the Bills can beat them this time around. See someone else in the AFC Championship for once. But it'll be 4 fun games. So I think we can. So just to recap, Texans versus Ravens. You have the Texans, right?
Yes, I have Texans against the Ravens.
You said 35-32. I said 28-24 Ravens. For the 49ers game, you have, what's your pick for the 49ers game?
I have the 49ers winning that game.
All right. And I do as well. And then Lions Bucks, I think we both have the Lions.
Yep.
And then we both have the Bills as well. So the only one we disagree on is the Ravens, but I can definitely see any of the 8. I can see all 8 teams winning and maybe not. So it'll be interesting. Are you going to be able to catch any of the games this weekend or not really?
It depends, but they're on network channels, so it depends. Most likely, we will have them on, so I'll probably catch them. So, knock on wood. Other than that, I think
I mean, are you really?
should be good.
Are you like allowed to just stand around and watch the TV while at work or not really?
So, like, when we're busy, I just like take a quick glance when I'm like clearing the tables. So other than that, can't really just like stand around and not do anything. So other than if it's the Super Bowl, and for the Super Bowl, it's pretty much kickoff is a little bit later, and close that towards the end of the night for us. So other than that,
You got to start. You should have asked for weekends off during the playoffs.
well,
Just pick up shifts during the week.
So right now, since there's the kids are back in school, the weeks are slower. The weekends are busier. For example, like on Sunday, since Monday was MLK Day, we had 454 people. So that would make it hard. And plus, since I took time off for Christmas and I was sick in December, so that wouldn't work. And plus, I'm moving next month. So
Next month.
yeah,
Excited?
I am.
You got a job there yet, or still looking?
Not yet. Once I get down there, I'll see what the land.
Do you have an
Yeah.
idea of what you'd like to do there?
Maybe in the library, but the other thing I've been thinking about is since our house is gonna be in a golf course community, maybe work something in the golf course area, so something like that, in the lines of that.
All right, cool. But
Yeah.
you got anything else you want to let the people know? What else you have going on? Like any plans for YouTube or not really?
So hopefully we can discuss off-season stuff for the NFL. Like I can make another live stream with talking about the coaching, head coaching predictions and what's going on with that. If you're available to do that sometime next week.
Yeah, we'll see. Trying to think. I'm not sure. But maybe I should be free at some point next week. We can do like kind of like this recap, then talk about whatever head coaching moves are made. I imagine they'll start to ramp up, and then a conference championship preview. And yeah, always fun. Sorry for no camera. I don't know why it's acting up, but I'll try to see if I can do it from my phone next time. That way, my face is at least there and figure out what happened with the audio there. But yeah, anything else? That's all for me.
I'm good on my side, and thanks for coming on and discussing playoffs. And that was a really good time that I had with you
Yeah,
doing this.
same. All right. I'll talk to you later, bud.
All right, there.